I'm now live. Hello. Hi, guys. Um, Welcome to this Team Joe Talks Instagram Live. I'm very excited today because I am talking with someone that I really admire. Her name's Karen Bass. I know that a lot of you most likely know who she is and have seen her in the news, especially a lot this year. She's been doing really great things. She's currently serving her fifth term representing the 37th Congressional District in California. And I mean, the list of her accomplishments is very impressive. She's on the House Committee of Foreign Affairs, where she's the chair of the Subcommittee on Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights, and International Organizations. She serves as the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and in June she was a part of introducing the Justice in Policing Act of 2020 and is working on new community-based crisis response legislation. Those are both extremely important things right now. And I mean, I could go on and on about her accomplishments because she's an incredibly impressive leader, but I think she's probably requesting to join, and we want to get her in here and start this conversation. Excited about. Here she comes. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you?
Good, I'm doing fine. I'm so excited to meet you. I get to meet a superhero.
I know. I'm very excited to meet you. I feel like you're the superhero. You know what
Well,
I realized? We're both Libras. Your birthday is a day before mine.
exactly. I was going to tell you happy birthday. Did
Yeah,
you?
happy birthday to you as well. Did you have a good day?
I did. And you?
Very good. Very
That's
good.
well, I want to know how that little boy's doing.
Oh man, he's the best. I
Uh,
am loving being a parent. I love being a mom. He's such a sweetheart.
yeah, that's wonderful. Well, you enjoy every minute of this time because it goes by so
I
fast.
know, I know. He's already so big, and every day I'm like crying because he's gained half an ounce. Like, what about you? How are you doing in these very difficult, bizarre times? And we're 17 days out, which is so hard to believe.
I know, and they're going to be like the longest 17 days in my life. I just wish it was tomorrow.
Me too. And it feels like it's going to feel like forever after that too. I mean, I think it's going to be November is going to be a year.
Exactly. But you know what, though? I'm feeling more and more excited because people are turning out to vote now.
Yeah.
In May, I just learned that 750,000 people have already voted, and I learned that that's 4 times more than normal. And we're hearing it all over the country. So that makes me feel like maybe we'll actually know the results November 3rd, and we just have to have a change.
We have to, and I agree with you. I do feel hope too, and everyone I talk to, as well, and my family, my friends, people are paying attention now. I mean, it's hard not to, but uh, it's so important. I mean, it's vital right now, and thank you so much for talking to me today. Um, I'm really excited to talk to you about a number of different things, and most importantly, I think because it's so personal to me. Last year in April, you announced the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is a matter very close to me because I have experienced domestic violence personally. I've spoken out about it. Um, and you announced this reauthorization with Congressman Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania. And this piece of legislation seems to have had a really crazy history since 1994. And during the government shutdown, it expired, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and it passed with the support of 33 Republicans because I think in no small part to your work to build bipartisan support. Why do you think this reauthorization is so important? I mean, it's important to me because it's so personal to me, and I'm directly affected by this issue. And where also do you think are the areas that we need to expand the law?
Well, a couple of things. One of the things that's so important about the law is that it funds all of the domestic violence programs around the country. And so these programs now are in jeopardy of running out of money. Hopefully, some of them had some savings, but that's just crazy. But Melissa, the reason why it stalled is because some of my colleagues do not want to extend protections to Native American women. And Native American women on the reservation, what happens is men outside of the reservation go on the reservation and they assault, they rape, and sometimes kill Native women. And then they leave the reservation. There's nothing that they can do because an Indian reservation is a separate government.
Wow.
So that's one reason. The other reason is that my Republican colleagues in the Senate do not want to protect trans women.
Mm-hmm.
So trans women and Native women. So here's what I know. Here's the good news. We might not be able to pass it right now, but in January, when President Biden and Vice President Harris are sworn in, we will have the Violence Against Women's Act. And you know why I know that for sure is because Vice President Biden is the original senator who created the Violence Against Women's Act 30 years ago. Before that, people believed, well, that's an individual matter. It's not a matter for society. So with his leadership, I feel confident that we'll get it back. I hate the fact that we have to wait a few more months.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's especially in these times. I mean, the rates of domestic violence occurrences are just skyrocketing right now because we're all stuck at home.
That's right.
It's so vital and important, and I hope everyone out there recognizes that.
Well, it's why we have to vote. It's why we have to make sure that they win, because I'll tell you, if they don't win, then these domestic violence programs will shut down permanently. Because if we weren't able to get it passed now, why would we think we would get it passed if we have to go through 4 more years of this guy who's got his own history, right?
And that's a terrifying thought. I mean, in my situation, I was lucky enough. I had the means to get out myself and to really pick myself up, but I can't even fathom not having the resources or the programs if I hadn't had the means that I did, having the job that I had at the time when I got out of the relationship I was in. I just can't imagine that those resources not being there for women.
Well, let me just thank you for speaking out, because when people like you speak out, that's just huge. That's huge. Come here, Michael. That is just huge.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Here, I want you to see my grandson.
Is that a Halloween mask?
Who are you?
That's terrifying. His name's Michael.
Well, because they can't go out and trick or treat.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad. What a bummer. Are you guys doing anything special, though, for Halloween?
Yeah,
Staying
just
home?
very small. It's a very small gathering of my family. My grandson, who will turn 6 years old. So we're combining a little party with a little Halloween. And at 6, he won't really know the difference.
No, he won't. And hopefully,
over to?
You know what? I have a cute little Halloween onesie to put on my baby. And we'll probably watch some movies. Not really much. It's a bummer that we're not going to get any trick-or-treaters, but it's for a good reason.
Absolutely. It's so that next year this time,
exactly,
we'll be able to be back to normal.
Exactly. And one of the other things I want to talk to you about, because it's very important for this time next year as well, it's another way that women are really in jeopardy right now, because of this election, is the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, because President Trump and the Republicans have scheduled a vote on the Senate floor for Judge Barrett days before the all We've all seen it all over the news. It's wildly hypocritical, and her confirmation would put Roe v. Wade at risk, which makes sure that being a woman isn't treated as a pre-existing condition, and Obergefell, which gave LGBTQ people the right to marry. So what can we do about this? Because this is something I'm really concerned about. I watch the news and it's really stresses me out. Feels so unfair.
Totally unfair. And I just, I feel so bad because I know that Justice Ginsburg is just looking down going, oh my word.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that there's much we can do at this point. I do believe she'll be confirmed this week, but we absolutely have to vote because I'm worried about a woman's ability to choose as well. And the idea that there'd be a woman on the court that would take away women's ability to choose
I know.
is worse. But how about the Affordable Care Act? Here we are in the middle of the pandemic. And on November 11th, she'll be sitting on the court deciding whether or not 30 million people lose their health care. And let me just tell you something. If you're not a part of that 30 million, everybody benefits from the Affordable Care Act.
Yep.
Because pre-existing conditions, and that means, just think, we have 8 million people in the United States that have contracted COVID. That means 8 million people have pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
So if the Affordable Care Act is removed, those 8 million people might not ever be able to get insurance that they can afford again. That's what's at stake in this election. So we have to make sure that we have President Biden and Vice President Harris, because if something happens to the Affordable Care Act and we have to take back the Senate, then new legislation has to be passed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pivotal. I was under my parents, because of the Affordable Care Act, I had my parents' insurance till I was 26. And that was so important for my development as an adult. And not to mention, like everything you were just saying, with everything that's going on, this is those 8 million people. We can't afford for anything to happen.
And, Melissa, the whole world is looking at us.
I know.
And saying, what happened to you guys?
I know, it's embarrassing.
It is absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely. And so the world is counting on us to correct this.
Yeah.
And then I hope afterwards, he goes away. I mean, he said he might leave the country. I'm like, really?
Okay.
We need to do that.
Yeah. I just wonder where he would go.
I don't know.
Who knows? But I also want to talk to you about equal pay, which is something Justice Ginsburg was also very vocal about, because women still earn on average $10,000 less than men each year, which is just astounding. Losing nearly $500,000 over the course of their lifetimes, in the year 2020, I can't. And I know that for Black and Latino women, the numbers are even worse. So what do you think can be done to solve this issue? And I'm sure Joe and Kamala have a plan to fix this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something that both of them have worked on for a long time.
Right.
I worked with Senator Harris when she was the district attorney in San Francisco. I was working in Sacramento, and she has a long history of fighting for equal pay. And then when the vice president was senator, has had a long history of that. And those are the kind of things that we really need to understand is at stake in this election. So we have to make sure that we do, 24/7. You know what I've been telling everybody, Melissa, is that since we're in this Zoom world, that everyone can do a Zoom call with their friends and family from around the country. to say, you know what, in this particular election, you have to have a plan to vote. So there's this website called iwillvote.com. No matter where you are in the country, you can get on that website and they can tell you when, where, and how to vote in your particular city. And so I believe that when we put the two of them in office, we will be able to address in a much stronger way equal pay.
Yeah. I mean, it's long overdue for something really aggressive to get it to where equity is just normalized.
Exactly. Well, can I ask you a question?
What?
I want to know what it's like to be a superhero. To look up to you. How does that feel?
I mean, it's aside from the physical, I mean, it's difficult, guys. It's hard. But you know, I'm so grateful that I've had this
Must be.
It's really affected my life in every avenue. Like you can't help but let what Supergirl stands for and what these superheroes we all look up to stand for, like kind of infuse everything, every decision you make. Like playing Supergirl has made me actually feel a lot of hope, which is really important in times like these. And, you know, look for the best in people and challenge them to do better, which is exactly what we have to do right now. It's crazy. Oh no, I can't hear you.
You know, when you watch
you
and see you. Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, okay.
There you are.
When last night I was talking to a group of Girl Scouts. And, you know, they wanted to talk to me because it was a part of them getting their badges, you know, elected up to. And I was telling them, as girls, when you walk in a room, you own it. Act like you own the room. When girls, that gets reinforced.
Oh, that's great to hear. I actually got to meet a couple of Girl Scouts. They were a troop that went to the White House and they met President Obama in, I want to say 2000, gosh, I can't remember when it was, 5-6 years ago. And then they came to set to visit, and those girls, it just made my heart grow exponentially because they were I could just see the future and see their vitality and their passion and their excitement. And that was certainly a highlight of being able to play Supergirl and see how she affects little girls around the world.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they were thrilled to meet you and to be on the set to see actually how it's done.
I'm sure that was cool for them. Yeah, I'm sure that was really cool for them. I mean, and there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about too before we run out of time, because I watched the town halls Thursday night. I watched bits and pieces of both because, of course, they were on at the same time. And President Trump, again, was telling lies about mask wearing, which we all know, if you follow the science, that it makes a massive difference and that it's what we should all be doing right now. How do you think Joe Biden would have prevented this current situation? And talk to me a little bit more about their plan, Joe and Kamala's plan that will ensure Americans get the best care possible.
Well, you know, I think that the best, when President Obama and Biden were in, we had what could have been a pandemic, Ebola. And what happened is the vice president and the president got together, stopped it. They stopped it. Everybody in the world, Ebola never hit here. I think maybe 2 people died from Ebola here, spread Africa. And so I know that President Biden and Vice President Harris will be driven to what science says Trump brings, I mean, he's got this quack from California who doesn't even know anything about epidemiology or pandemic, and he's telling him what to do. So I know they would be driven, and I know that there would be a strategy. And so the thing that's me is that the fact that we've already had 200,000 people die. And frankly, if President Biden and Kamala Harris are not sworn in January, I'm worried next year, this time there'll be 1 million people. And Trump seems to be okay with that. He says he wants us to congratulate.
He does seem to be okay with it, and it seems like the herd
200,000 people dying because there hasn't been 1 million. Sick as that.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Having a little bit of
and
Trump.
This whole idea of I think I don't know what's going on. I'm so bad at this. Oh, there you are. Can you hear me now? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm afraid of all of those things too, and I don't want it to see us. I don't want herd immunity to even be an option. I mean, the fact that millions of people could die, it's just, and that's tossed away so flippantly. Do you think that people are ready to kind of turn the page on all of this, like, nastiness and just disregard for decency? From what I've seen, I think people are ready.
I think people are running.
I think so too. And across party lines, like people that I know that have voted Republican their entire lives.
I think we all see it. We all see it. We just have to deliver it.
Right. Exactly. So have you voted? Because I got my ballot in the mail.
I too. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I think I lost you. I don't know what's happening.
Honor talking to you.
Likewise. Likewise, I have loved talking to you. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're very busy right now doing very important work, and I really appreciate it. And everyone that's...
16 days.
16 days. Everyone get out there and vote. Text WIN, that is the word WIN, to the number 30330 to join the campaign. That's very important. And please, even more important, check your registration. Make a plan at iwillvote.com. Let's get out there and vote.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.